Okay, so I'm going to show this setup that I've been utilizing for like setting up collar chokes from the back. Either like double lapel chokes or bow and arrow chokes, or even like the single wing choke works really well from there as well. So when we're here, the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to try to get to a position where I'm on this side, okay? So I've got the, I'm on the underhook side of the seatbelt, okay? From here, most of the time, I'm trying to bring this foot up quite high across the hip, and I stack the other foot on top of it, okay? This allows me to like use the body triangle if I want to, but it also creates a really high barrier that Chelsea has to kind of like jump over the top. Like here, it can be quite easy for her to clear and slide. With this foot's up so high, it becomes a lot more difficult. Okay, almost immediately when I get to this side, I'm going to circle and grab her hand. Okay, and I'm grabbing, there's a couple of places I can grab around this like squishy bit in the middle, or I can grab over the fingers. Okay, they do different jobs. For this one, I'm going to go kind of over the knuckles around the squishy bits. And I punch this down. Okay, momentarily, what this does is it gives Chelsea only one hand to defend with. And because, if you look at the positioning of my arm, her arm's kind of like slightly isolated. So it's not as easy for her to grab my wrist. So if she tries to grab my wrist here, it becomes a lot more difficult. Okay, than if I'm down here, yeah, she's got all that space to work with. So by stacking and coming up here, I can start to make this grip. Now what will always happen once I get here, she will really try to defend that grip super hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push and stretch. Okay, so I'm punching this down and I'm pushing on her hip to free up my arm. It's going to come over the top and make the grip exchange underneath her neck. Okay, and as I do that, my head switches to the other side and I reach down and grab either her belt, her hips, or her leg. Anywhere, or even like not even worrying about grabbing anything, just blocking. Because this hand now is completely isolated again. From here, still keeping that hip up high, I can start to use my leg underneath to readjust the collar. Okay, so even if I'm in this kind of like low position, it's not ideal. By opening down here and pulling, I can set it into a lot better position. Okay, then I'm going to go back to this leg grip. Okay, anywhere I can get to try and get a good strong grip. And I'm going to let her escape. So I let her come out of this position. As she does that, I start ratcheting this up and pulling my elbow back. Okay, that helps me get to the point of my elbow so that I can slot, bring this over the top, and then I'll cross my legs and I'll squeeze to finish from there. Okay, so there's a lot of little kind of parts to this, but what we're doing is we're making sure that the person can't, or it's harder for them to defend. I'm not going to say they can't defend because they always can, but by following this kind of sequence, it makes it more difficult. Okay, so if you need a leg with your head back. Other way. Here we go. So, that was complicated.
That was the way I was.
I know, I got confused. So again, we're here. I've taken the back. So often when you do things like chair sits, you'll end up on this side anyway. I've taken the back here, okay? And now, the first thing that I'm trying to do, like I'm here, I'm going to try and catch this hand and like catch the fingers, all right? I'm just doing this as best as I can. Now I've blocked this far arm a little bit and I make a grip to make her defend. Okay, she immediately goes to that arm, so I push this down, takes away the power of her arm a little bit until I can slide underneath. And because I've already got this hand slightly underneath, it becomes harder for her to get her chin down. Okay, I make the grip and I clear this other arm. I go through, pull and adjust, here. Okay, and get to somewhere that I want to use. Now from here, I'm going to reach down to her, anything that I can, in all honesty, like the top of her hips works fine. Often people won't be quite as floppy as Chelsea, they'll be trying to defend a little bit. Okay, but now look, I let her out. So this leg that was across the hip is going to drop down here, okay, and I'm on my side. What I then do is I pull and push with my elbow to ratchet it up. Come up, come back into a chair sit, and roll all the way over the top, and finish in like a bow and arrow strangle here. Okay, so the trickiest bit is kind of getting up to that elbow. When I'm here, I pass this one down, so I'll be in this position. I let her clear, and then I'm pulling up onto my elbow. Once I get to the spike of my elbow, I can slide, fall back, and start attacking the neck. Okay?